Hello, welcome back to the road to episode 8, my ongoing series where I chart the road to the release of Star Wars episode 8, The Last Jedi, on the 13th of December 2017 and the 14th and 15th of December 2017 around the rest of the world in the UK and America. And this is it. This is pretty much the last video, and this is, I think, the 54th video in the series. I think the road to episode 7 was 102 videos, so it's like literally by half. Although there was a longer road. I think I started the road to episode 7 December 2013, not December, January 2013. So it had almost 3 years actually on that one. If I think yeah, almost 3 years for the road to episode 7. So, but I do feel like, again, I've said this before, I'll say it again, it's reflective of how excited I am. It's reflective of how interested I am in getting hyped up about episode 8. Now, I'm so unbelievably excited for next week. The movie comes out next Wednesday for me here in Norway, and I'm so pumped up for it. But I don't want to look into all the details. I don't want to get everything, you know, beat for beat. I don't want to look into all the videos they're posting, all the TV spots, all the interviews. I don't want to read too much of that stuff, so I'm not covering it. I'm not talking about it in these videos. Also, I've been busy doing my Asian cinema season videos and things like that, which I didn't do a couple of years ago, but it's just the way it is, and I'm happy with that, because the road needs to be reflective of how it is for me. And if I was as excited as I was for episode 7, The Force Awakens, I would have made more videos. It's as simple as that. A few things to cover. Number one was that Daisy Ridley last week said in an interview that she's done playing Rey after episode 9, and that she didn't know what she was signing on to, and it's 3 movies. The fans went batshit crazy. They were so pissed off. They said, "This ungrateful bitch, how dare she be given the keys to the kingdom and being the star of a Star Wars trilogy, and she won't come back for us for more movies. Like, you know, her career's going to die in its ass. She's going to find she's got no movie roles when she's done with Star Wars. How dare she turn her back on us?" And it was crazy. Like, I was reading these comments, I was thinking, what are these people thinking? What world are they living in? She has the right to do whatever the fuck she wants to do. And when she says she didn't know what she was signing on to, I mean, she was like, what, 20, 21 when she signed on to do The Force Awakens and, you know, inevitably the trilogy. What'd she been in prior to that? Previously? I'll leave that one in for free. What'd she been in? Nothing. A couple of TV shows here and there. To be thrust into the biggest movie of all time, you know, the second biggest movie of all time, the biggest domestically over in America, where it really counts, right? You know, no one could be prepared for that. And it does seem like she's been a little bit affected by the sudden ascent into stardom. You know, people, well, she shouldn't be an actress if you don't know what. Well, it is what it is, right? We're all people at the end of the day. But regardless, she had to clarify her comments and stuff. But you know, it does. She never said she'd never play Rey again or whatever, and that in 30 years' time she wouldn't do, you know, maybe another trilogy, whatever. You know, but the way that she said it, it was taken out of context, and everyone was running it around the internet saying she was saying, "I'm done with Star Wars. I'm too good for that," which wasn't the case, you know. But hey, it is the way it is these days with the internet, people not reading the full source material before jumping to conclusions. So that was one big thing that kind of came up over the past week or so. Another thing, Rian Johnson said on Jimmy Kimmel, the first word of episode 8 is "we're," as in, you know, W-E'-R-E, which to me makes it seem like the film is not going to open with Rey and Luke on the island. It's going to open somewhere else and then cut back to Rey and Luke on the island, which makes sense because they're going to need to pan down from the crawl to space, right? So how are they going to handle that? I'm intrigued to see how they literally open the film, but we know it's going to be, there's no time jump. It'll carry on where it left off. I'm thinking maybe like Han's funeral or something, like "we're gathered here today." I don't know. I remember when J.J. Abrams said the first word of The Force Awakens was this, which turned out to be Lor San Tekka, Max von Sydow, saying, "This will begin to make things right." What else is there? Rian Johnson's talking about how his first cut of The Last Jedi was 3 hours long, but that's not, you know, a director's cut. There'll be no extended cut and stuff, and that the film as it is now is the best version that he feels like it can be. He said there's a lot of deleted scenes that will be included on the Blu-ray. He was just reviewing them last week, and he says there are literally full sequences that will be there in the deleted scenes, stuff that are amongst his favourite scenes of the film that just had to be cut for pacing issues and all that kind of stuff. So that's cool. He has also confirmed he's doing an audio commentary, which is nice, and that we won't have to wait for like a 3D re-release, you know, a year from now. And he also talked about the kind of how this new trilogy came about and how he was approached to do it, and how it's been very just, you know, he wants to keep working with them, they want to keep working with him, and to him he thought the most exciting thing was to do a 3-act story, a trilogy, with completely new characters and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just getting really excited about that prospect. And I love Rian. I think he's a really nice guy from what I've seen, from what I've heard. I listened to him on Kevin Smith's podcast for like 2 or 3 hours talking about his beginnings in making movies. Just seems like the nicest guy in the world. It seems like he's really deserving of all the accolades that people are kind of pre-throwing on him before The Last Jedi comes out. You know, everyone who's involved in the film says he's so great. We'll see next week if he really has delivered a great Star Wars film. But I'm really excited for the possibility of this new Star Wars story that he'll be doing anyway. And he's also confirmed that he will be writing and directing the first film, but beyond that it's just too far to tell, because he's still trying to work everything out as far as that is concerned. What else is there really to go into? I mean, there's been new TV spots, new hints, new things here and there. There's been a couple of things that may delve into spoiler territory. There's a training featurette of some of the actors training with lightsabers, and apparently there's a shot in there that kind of spoils an action scene in the film, which I thought, I wish I hadn't seen that. And that's another thing. I'm going to be going into a week of silence from about now pretty much, because I remember when The Force Awakens came out, about a week before, I was devouring everything. I mean, you see it, I was posting videos like up until the last day of the film about to come out. And there was a Twitter Q&A with the entire cast, and someone asked Harrison Ford on Twitter, what's your favourite scene in The Force Awakens? And he said, well, he didn't say I don't know why I put that in there. He said, stroking his non-existent beard, he said, my favourite scene is the duel between Kylo Ren and Rey, the lightsaber duel. Great emotive storytelling, or some emotional storytelling. And everyone was like, did he mean Kylo Ren and Finn? Because all we'd seen in the trailers was Finn, and we assumed that Rey was probably going to be the, but it was really, her wielding a lightsaber was not promoted at all, which is really cool. It makes me wonder, what are they holding back from The Last Jedi? Luke with his lightsaber, maybe? That'd be awesome. And I might do a final video before I go see it the day before. It's kind of like a final hype. I'm not sure yet. Maybe I can do that in this video. I don't know. I'm undecided. I'm all over the place at the minute. But I'm very excited. And yeah, so I want to stay away from even official stuff in case something slips. And so on. But yeah, we're going to get to see the longest Star Wars movie as well. I'm intrigued to see how the length will play into it. And yeah, so we're on the final road. I guess I have enough time to just talk about my final thoughts. If you want to hear me go into real depth about The Last Jedi, not that I really had much of a concrete idea of what to kind of predict per se, but I did an hour and a half live stream with CP from RazorwireReviews. I'll leave a link to that at the bottom in the description of this video, and also at the end of this video you'll be able to click on it and hear us talking about The Last Jedi and theorizing, all that kind of stuff. I don't have the biggest predictions, Could Luke die? Sure, he could. Could he survive? Sure, he could. Could Rey turn dark? Sure, she could. Could she not turn dark? Sure, whatever. I really feel like this is wide open. I really feel like, looking at what they did in The Force Awakens, I feel like that they've got the artistic freedom to kind of do what they want. They're not going to be held back by something like, Han Solo's son killing him. That's a pretty hefty thing to do, And, people, oh, it's Disney, it's all going to be tamed, toned down and everything. Well, yeah, that's pretty harsh, in The Force Awakens. And knowing it's going to get darker, but apparently The Last Jedi is quite a funny film as well. I'm intrigued to see how the tone's going to be balanced between entertaining Star Wars and also the serious, heavy stuff. And of course, the one thing I'm looking forward to more than anything is Mark Hamill. Luke's my favourite character. He's not the best Star Wars character by far, but he's my favourite character, he's my guy. And I'm a huge fan of Mark Hamill in general. I can't wait to see him get that centerpiece spotlight role that I feel he's deserved his entire life. It is literally Star Wars Luke Skywalker. Rian Johnson's all but confirmed that The Last Jedi is Luke Skywalker. So I'm just so excited to see if he pulls it off. There's a lot of pressure on Mark Hamill in this film, I think. It's he really is the focal point. Or, well, it looks like he is anyway. It could be different. Who knows? There's someone, and again, people saying, what cameos are going to be? Is Yoda going to be in it? I don't know. I'm looking forward to being surprised. I'm looking forward to reacting to it. And I will have my first reactions for you on Wednesday the 13th of December in the afternoon. And it'll be a spoiler-free reaction. I won't spoil anything for you. And so, yeah, so I'm excited. It's a week away. I'm so fucking excited. It's just one of those things that doesn't come around all that often. Rogue One was Rogue One, but this is a part of the Skywalker story, and they've very much promoted that. This is the Skywalker saga, right? So that's interesting. Another quick thing, Mark Hamill was doing an interview with Entertainment Weekly, and he said that he really felt like he needed to know Luke's backstory, which wasn't given to him. So he was writing things down, and one of his ideas was that Luke fell in love with a widow, and they had a child together, and the child got hold of his lightsaber and killed himself. And he said that's not the official story, don't start taking this out of context, but for him, he needed to kind of get something to get him into the mindset of this tortured life that Luke has had, which hopefully we'll learn more about in The Last Jedi. Snoke's another character I'm interested in, but you know, I feel like at this point it's useless to kind of be theorizing these things too much. I definitely thought before The Force Awakens that Han was going to die and that Kylo was the son of Han and Leia, although that was mostly based on the fact that his name was Kylo, and I was thinking Skywalker Solo. But also I felt like it fit thematically and stuff. Anyway, so I don't have these big predictions for The Last Jedi, I just know that I'm really excited for it, and I'll have a slew of videos about it for you. And who knows, maybe we'll start the road to Episode 9 in a couple of weeks. Could happen. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet, but I probably will. But you know, this one, the road to Episode 8, I never really planned on doing this, but I'm glad I did. I get to see my thought process throughout the trailers and the reveals and so on. There's been a thing on Twitter actually where the Star Wars official Twitter posted a picture of Rey, or two pictures of Rey, and it said, "Choose your side, The Last Jedi coming soon." And it was Rey's face split in two different images in blue and red. And I was like, well then, well. Interesting. So, you know, again, I talk about more of my ideas of what could happen in that stream with CP, so go check that out if you're interested in more of my thoughts on The Last Jedi and anticipations and all that kind of stuff, stories. It was a good stream, I enjoyed it very much. Otherwise, I will see you with the next video, which will be my first reaction, spoiler free, to Star Wars Episode 8. Can you believe it? Episode 8. When I was a kid, the sequel trilogy seemed like such a fantasy. Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Next week. I'll see you there.